Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Keely Ogden. I'm a writer, and I am the Vampire Girl. Today, we've got a doozy. I'm always excited to talk about these movies, but today's movie is next level. It is next level. This movie, man. You know what? I got nothing to say. Let's just jump into Dracula. Bram Stoker's Dracula was released in 1992 by Columbia Pictures. It is directed by Francis Ford Coppola of Godfather fame and stars Winona Ryder, Gary Oldman, Anthony Hopkins, Keanu Reeves, Sadie Frost, and a whole host of other incredible talent. As wild as this movie is, you can tell that Coppola had a real respect and love for Stoker's novel. He even had the cast read the novel out loud collectively during the first parts of rehearsals. Throughout the creative process, Coppola said that if any of the actors found something in the book that was not already being put into the movie, to let him know and they would find a way to include it. Coppola's pure love of storytelling made this movie absolutely a marvel to watch. There is no CGI apart from one effect in the movie, and that effect is barely in it. All of the sets, the costumes, the visuals, all are done in camera, which just makes this movie feel otherworldly. Coppola also had a great love of improv and used it as a way for his actors to find different relationships and different levels of energy during the filming scenes. Coppola's ability to play around with his actors, his scenery, and the material comes through in spades in this movie, and I have a newfound respect for the director after listening to his thoughts on the entire process. If you are unfamiliar with how my videos are structured, this is how it's going to go. I will give you a brief spoiler-free summary of the film, as well as a smattering of my thoughts, and then I will give its MPAA rating, any content warnings, a score as a film, and a score as a Dracula adaptation. Then anybody who wants to leave and watch the movie is free to do so, and I highly encourage it, with a couple of caveats, but we'll get to that. I highly encourage you guys to check out this movie if you are a fan of crazy over-the-top horror. Instead of a full beat-by-beat analysis this week, I have a special treat for you, so stay tuned for that. I am so excited! Alrighty guys, let's talk plot. Jonathan Harker travels to Transylvania in order to assist his client, Count Dracula. I know, it sounds familiar at this point, just bear with me, I promise this movie is worth it. Dracula welcomes Harker in. He's very inviting and very strange at the same time. Harker quickly realizes that something is not quite right, and he finds that he is in the middle of a love story that has been going on for centuries. This is a story of love across time and the things that we will do in order to connect with the people that we care about the most. This movie is bonkers. It is so much. This movie, I cannot wait to talk about it more in depth, but this movie is so fantastic. It's emotional and it's over the top, and the costume and the set is just amazing. The characters, there are a couple that are like, but for the most part, the cast is stellar. Winona Ryder is fantastic as Mina. We have Keanu Reeves as Jonathan, Anthony Hopkins as Van Helsing, Sadie Frost as Lucy. It's just an incredible team that built this movie. Coppola and his son Roman are the ones who did all of the effects and who did a lot of the cinematography. It's fantastic. This movie, I have to warn, to go into this movie not expecting a typical movie, because this movie is an experience. It's not just a sit down, watch it film. This movie is an experience. It is a train that is just barreling towards a cliff, but at the last moment it like it's like a good clip and it drops you down into like a canyon of cotton candy. It's fantastic. This movie is incredible. Now for scoring. This movie is rated R for a very good reason. There is quite a bit of nudity in the movie. Now y'all know that I am not a fan of sex or nudity in films. I find it unnecessary and kind of useless and annoying. But in this movie, there were only a couple of instances where I'm like, okay, can we be done? Can we get it over with? It's never used in a gratuitous way. It's never used to, even in the scene where it's very prevalent, it's never used to excite the viewer. It's more of a oof, yikes kind of thing, you know? Am I making any sense? I don't know. Go watch the movie. Unless you don't like boobies in movies, then don't watch it. But this movie is rated R for nudity, and there is some violence and some very spooky imagery in this movie. It's still fantastic. I did not expect to like this movie going into it the first time because I'm such a diehard for Stoker's novel, and this movie is a gothic romance. Which is why my score of 5 out of 5 for this movie is such a shock to both old me and probably anybody who I've talked to the book about. But this movie gets a rating of 5 out of 5. It is fantastic. It's fantastic. And now for its score as an adaptation. Does Bram Stoker's Dracula really stack up to Bram Stoker's Dracula? If you need a quick reminder, here is how our scores currently sit. Bram Stoker's Dracula, released in 1992, gets a score of a staggering 140 points. I mean, it dwarfs all of the other movies by a large margin. It almost doubles the last two. This week, things are going to be a little different. I am actually going to move our analysis into its own video. It's not actually an analysis this week. I did a discussion of this movie with my good friend and my roommate, so please make sure to head over and check out that video. If you just want to go watch the movie, I'm going to leave the spoiler-free section here. And please, I do highly encourage you guys to go check out this movie. It's so much fun, and it's such a great, great time. If you want to see my more in-depth thoughts on the movie, go check out my discussion video that I did with my awesome roommate. So, that's it for this video. Until next time.